ladies and gentlemen, please listen very carefully. For today's instruction, you need the prompts sheet. You know how we have two things with essays? You need the one that say prompts. You need the 4 essays that are due today on your desk, and you need 2 blank sheets of paper. What? Yeah, dude. So, in order to be successful for today's instruction, you need SAQ prompts, the one that says prompts. You need all 4 of your essays and planning on your desk, and you need 2 sheets of blank paper in order to be successful. Everyone should have crayons or colored pencils on your desk because that's what the sign says. Now, please listen. Tonight you have 2 essays due to me. You have number 4 and number 6. You have number 4 and number 6. So look at your prompt sheet, please. For number 4, I need you to modify. Listen, describe 2. Cross off where it says 1 and write 2 technological innovations in one of the regions above. So 2 needs to be changed, and then number 6 list 1 change.
Thank you everyone for participating in the fire drill. That was the tardy bell. All students should now be in 3rd period. Thank you.
List 1 change in a region other than Europe and 1 continuity. I'm going to help you plan that one today if you guys can make it happen. Everyone clear? We'll write in the things I have down when we get there. So you are doing number 4 and number 6. So you're only 2 essays tonight. Is everyone clear on that? Perfect. So what we are going to do right now, ladies and gentlemen, on a blank sheet of paper, at the very top of the paper, may I borrow for a second, Luke? You are going to write your name at the very top of the paper, nice and large. Okay, and then you're going to write in number 9 prompt, and you are going to copy the rubric. Begin. Ladies and gentlemen, I have you copy rubrics because I need you to see how repetitive they are. By you handwriting a rubric, you are seeing the order in which I am requiring. By you handwriting them, it will help you long term. Now, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to handwrite every single one, but for the first batch of every time we do one, yes, you will. Because seeing the repetitiveness, seeing it. Now, once you get A, B is the exact same. And yes, you have to write B.
What's the word after that?
Identifies?
Oh.
So, everyone should be copying it down. If you finish copying it down before everyone else, then I would color it, coordinate it to mine, please. Now, as you are copying that down, today is parent-teacher conference. Raise your hand if your parents are coming to campus. None? Or are you all just focused on writing your damn rubric?
My mom's volunteering at that house.
Volunteering? What is she volunteering for?
For the dinner.
Oh, nice! Real MVP. There you go. All right. Tonight at 5:30, there is a parent meeting for anyone who is interested in going to Japan. Ren and I are going to Japan this summer for 2 weeks. His wife, who honestly is like heaven on earth, she's like the sweetest, kindest person, and my dumb husband. He's not dumb. He's actually the smartest person I know. He's also just a clown. Are going with Ren and I with 30 kids. We are only taking 30 kids because we really only like 30 people. So, with that being said, if you are interested in going to Japan with Ren and I, there is a meeting tonight at 5:30 in Ren's room. We are going to a ton of the major sites in Japan. It'll be 2 weeks. It's also $5,000. Yeah. So I don't say this to you lightly. I teach every day about Europe, and I was 30 years old when I went to Europe for the first time. So believe me, I know what it's like to not travel. And so me telling you it's $5,000, please don't think I don't have a sad heart telling you that. But I will tell you that you're probably, if not 100%, going to go to Italy at some point in your life. You probably won't go to Japan. Italy is very easy for Americans to kind of navigate. We have a lot of familiarity with it. Our friends and family have gone. We have basic foundations of language are pretty similar. Not obviously the same because they speak Italian, but we could figure it out. Japan is one of those countries, if you're not comfortable going, you're not going by yourself. Very few Americans go to Japan because of how outside of our culture it is. So I do think, if I don't go with Ren, I'm not going to Japan. I'm telling you that right now, so that's why I'm going to Japan. Because I'm not brave enough to go on my own. Because it's just too much of a culture shock, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't pull the trigger. Andrew.
How are you deciding the 30 people?
It's whoever signs up first. But we don't want to take too many more than that because then it gets really annoying for us, and we'd like to enjoy the trip as well. Desmond.
Are we able to go like next year if we're not in class? Or
We're not doing, we don't do the same trip 2 years in a row. So, don't use that. No! No, those are hand crank because that ruins my sharpener. You're okay. Next year we're going to a different tour. I don't know what that tour will be because we don't announce the next tour until we fill the tour. We've already been to Greece.
But could we still technically do it next year?
Yeah, of course. Hi, yes, I will always save a spot for you, Addison and Desmond, if you wanted to come next year. This year's tour is Japan. I don't know if Ren's picked what next year's is, to be completely honest, but we would never announce it before we filled this tour. But yes, we typically go somewhere every summer for at least the time being.
So he wants it to be Egypt in like 2024.
Yeah, but Egypt has its own problems, and I don't know if he can do Egypt. There's really no tours on the continent of Africa because of that political instability. Hmm?
Let's just see Moscow.
Well, yes, but I'm not talking us taking a bunch of American students to it. Does that make sense? There's also no tours to China anymore. And there's no tours to Russia anymore for American students. So the geopolitical conflicts of the day play a huge impact on where we take American students. Right? I mean, that makes sense. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen. You can't be graded by Luke if Luke's essay is the one who's doing it, yes? Okay. What you're going to do, please listen very carefully to the words that are coming out of my mouth. You are going to put your rubric on top of your number 9 essay. Make sure you are handing off the right essay. By the way, because if it's not the right essay, they're going to have to give you a 0 because you didn't answer any of the questions. Put your rubric on top of your essay, on top of your planning. Do that now. Put your rubric on top of your essay, on top of your planning. And hand it to someone near you. It doesn't matter who it is. Go. Make sure you're putting it on number 9, ladies and gentlemen. Go. You are wasting your own time because your homework, I'll help you plan. The faster you go, the better your quality of life is. Now, as we continue, ladies and gentlemen, the formatting will always be the same. You come in, we do a simple do now. Some of you are chatting like we're lying at the beach. You come in, we'll do a simple do now. We will then do what I need to get done for the day, whatever grading I need and whatever lesson I'm going to teach you. I'm going to humble you in 2 different ways today. Actually, 3. Okay? And then I will help you plan your essays for that night. I think we can all agree you really only care about your essays for tonight, yes? So, the faster we move through what I need, the better your quality of life is, and that's the game every day. As soon as you have someone else's essay in front of you, at the very bottom of the rubric, you are going to write your name so I know exactly who is holding on to each rubric. On the bottom of the rubric, you are writing your name. Okay, please listen. If they haven't colored in the rubric, color it in now for them. It's already colored for you, that's fine. The rubric, we're not talking essay. Now, what is going to happen is I'm going to tell you to read the first sentence. You're going to read it and not touch anything. Then I'm going to have you read it a second time, and you're going to color it if it restates the prompt. Is everyone clear? So read the first sentence of their essay. Go. Make sure you're reading their essay and not their planning. You're just reading their first sentence. And you read it the first time, and then the second time you color it, Alex. So now that you've read it once, go back. If it does suffice and does hit the rubric, then you color it correctly and score the rubric. So you're coloring in the essay, and then you're scoring the rubric. You are not spending 45 minutes coloring in a sentence. Color it in and move on. Here we go. Underneath, in that topic sentence where it tells you what religion they're discussing, you should be underlining it in red. So in the topic sentence, it should be orange with one line of red. Okay. Now you are to begin reading the rest of the essay, looking for pieces of evidence. Now stop, I didn't say go. What would be an example of evidence? What am I looking for? When I say evidence, what am I looking for, Lauren? Vocab term. Now we can all agree there's high vocab terms and low ones. What would be a high one for any religion? I don't care. What would be a good vocab term? Reagan. Caste system is a good one. Alex?
Like the book that they study, the Bible.
Bible is fine. Lauren? Monotheistic, polytheistic, universalizing. That's a beautiful one. Addison? Social hierarchy does not because it's too big. Okay, so then you have crappy ones, which technically do score. Like Jesus, that's not really information you came not knowing before you walked in this class, even if you're not a Christian. Can we agree? Okay, those are the low-level ones. Technically, they do score, but they're not great. We obviously want to use the higher caliber ones, right? Because it shows that we have that genuine knowledge. You are going to go through, and every time you see a vocab term. Now, keep in mind, they have to have two. If they say Jesus Christ twice in the essay, you only circle it once. Just because they say it multiple times does not mean they get extra points. So, read through the rest of that paragraph and circle your evidence, please. Merriweather.
Are we counting the religion?
No, religion you cannot double dip. No. Yes, William. Untouchables, absolutely. Did you know that term before you showed up? There you go. So it's a vocab term. What do you got? Absolutely. Okay. Now, I'm telling you right now, your peers did not do this. In order to get the points for analysis, they had to talk about both religions that they wrote about. So if paragraph 1 is about Islam and the second paragraph is about Christianity, to get the analysis point, you had to mention Islam and Christianity. I'm telling you right now, they didn't do it. I've had one kid all day out of 63 kids already who have done it. So, read their final sentence. In their final sentence, they're supposed to have addressed both the religion they're talking about and the one in the bottom paragraph. So you have to look at the bottom paragraph. Are they talking about two religions in that final sentence? I'm telling you, they didn't. So they're going to get a 0 for analysis. I'm telling you right now, this is one of the lessons of the day. Yes, remember I told you there were going to be 2, maybe 3 hard truths today. This is the first. They're going to get a 0 on the analysis. It's fun.
What if they told the difference but not mentioned the difference?
No. If they're not using specifics, then it doesn't score.
What if they did, that's correct, what if they did?
They did it?
Yeah.
And it's good? What does it say?
It says that Hinduism and Christianity is that Hinduism is based on the.
Is it all one paragraph that they wrote it in?
Yeah.
That's how, no, it doesn't score because they formatted wrong. Okay, so they're losing in points on analysis. I'm telling you right now they didn't do it. Okay? It's a 0 for that one, yes. Please listen. They should have 2 paragraphs. Jordan, can I see yours? They should have 2 paragraphs. May I see them? Okay, please look over here. This is going to be the second hard truth, and you'll never make this mistake again. Okay, this is how the rubrics are for your AP graders. So May 11th is your exam. All of those essays that you write, and you'll write 6 of them, get put in a box and sent to Utah. In Utah, they'll take them out of the box. It's just where they grade. I don't know why they pick Utah, but here we are. Okay, so they're in Utah. Now all the boxes show up to Utah. Every grader sits there and spends 48 hours grading essays for a whole week. That's what they do, is they grade essays. Each grader reads for the DBQ over 600 DBQs. SAQs, you're reading close to 1,200 of them. Yeah, miserable. What I'm telling you is their rubric looks just like this. So if you're on your 457th essay and their essay is not filled out to the rubric, are they going to lose some points? Yes, because it's not making it easier on the grader because their lives suck. Okay? This is how the rubrics are filled out for the graders, which is how we will do them for the rest of our lives because we want to make it easier for the grader. You have to have an A and you have to have a B. Which one's easier to grade? This, which has it nicely broken up into 2 paragraphs, or this? Which one's easier, first one or second one? First one is easier. You have to have it broken up into 2 paragraphs because that is how the rubric is made. With that being said, if your person only has it in 1 paragraph, you need to write -2 on the rubric for formatting. Do that now. It's fun.
Do you get partial points?
No. No.
It's like 1 out of 6.
For what? The analysis?
Yeah.
Is it? They mentioned both in it. Is yours a 1 paragraph or 2 paragraphs?
This one? Mine or hers?
Oh no, the one you're grading is
Oh.
fun. The one we're talking about.
2.
It's in 2, and they do address it in both, and you can give a point. If it's 2 paragraphs and they are trying, I'll give them a point. This does matter. Indents is fine, but I want going forward a nice line break because it's a definitive, these are separate. Is everyone clear? Because it's easier for the grader. If it sounds like Samantha Bennett's a crazy person, I accept. But let me tell you, when those graders are sitting there at the last week of May grading all these essays, do you think they appreciate when there's a gap and there's a clear ending and they're following the exact format, so all they have to do is check the box? That's what we're doing. We're doing it to make their lives easier. It's to make it easier for them to give us points, and that's the deal. William.
So this one says in the analysis sentence, it says that Hinduism and its spread through trade unlike other religions, but it doesn't give them.
If it doesn't directly say, then no. You can give them a point. I like that they're trying, but no.
Do you need to restate the prompt for each?
Yes,
paragraph?
because it says it in your next thing. So here we go. So if they did not give you 2 paragraphs, they're -2. Is everyone clear? The analysis, I'm telling you right now, they're going to lose it because most people aren't connecting it. Now, tonight's essays, what are you absolutely going to focus on? Analysis and 2 paragraphs. Absolutely. Do you see what we're doing here? You have made a mistake, which is fine. This is your first real essays. I penalize you with really not that many points, let's be honest. And you will never make those mistakes again. Is everyone clear? That's the point. You come to class, I teach you something, I reinforce it. I teach you something, I reinforce it. Those mistakes will not be made again. Lincoln.
They have 2, or if they only have 1, but that's.
Well, then they can only get 1 point. Okay, what? No, you cannot reuse. You can't just keep saying the same crap and think you keep getting points. Nirvana would absolutely work. That's a great answer. Okay, so the first paragraph should be scored. Now let's begin working on the second paragraph. It should start with a topic sentence. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a person who only has one paragraph, they can't have a topic sentence probably, right? So they're losing points on that side too. Then no, then take off the points. Okay, I hope you're also seeing that I'm not nitpicking content right now, am I? What am I really focusing on right now? Format, structure. That's what I'm really harboring on. Now, if your content is horribly wrong, like you're writing about Harry Potter when you should be talking about religion, then I'm going to blow you up, yeah? But I'm not that worried about content. I will pull the content through, but I need you to learn formatting right now, and that's what we're stressing. So you are going through, you are coloring their essay in regards to the content that they have scored, and you are re-scoring the rubric as you go. We are really focusing on formatting. We're not. Now, do you think at a later date we're going to be really pushing hard on that content? Oh, yeah. I'll bleed you on points for content. But right now, is that what I'm focused on? No. It is really that formatting. Okay. So, everyone should have scored that second paragraph. Your rubric should be completed and filled out to 16 points. So, you should be writing their total score out of 16. Remember, if it's one paragraph, you've already taken off 2 points for it, and you're writing the grand score over 16. Now, please listen very carefully. As we go, this is typically how it's going to look. The rubric won't always look the same. Sometimes we'll be pushing one specific agenda or another. But every single time when we add up the score, we will always write 2 pieces of positive feedback and 1 piece of constructive criticism. So underneath the rubric, write 2 pieces of positive feedback. I'm not looking for full and complete sentences. I'm looking for complete thoughts. Like, for instance, your evidence is really well done. Your handwriting is really clear and easy to read. That's nice. Now, constructive criticism is not telling someone, hey, you suck, you should drop AP World. That's not helpful. Okay? What is helpful is saying your handwriting is really hard to read. Now, if your handwriting is really hard to read, that means people can't read it, which means they can't score it. So you shouldn't be proud if your handwriting is trash, because it means you're going to lose points on it. Because your essays on May 11th are handwritten. So if you write like complete garbage, you're going to score complete garbage. Now, this is coming from someone who has terrible handwriting. You've seen it 1,000 times. Can we agree? When I'm writing for grade and clarity and not doing you people a favor, I can write really clearly and quickly. You need to have those skills as well. What your notebook looks like for class versus the essays in which you're submitting for a national grade needs to be different. My handwriting looks different depending on the scenario. Your handwriting needs to look different. Lauren.
I have a question on the second paragraph of their analysis score.
Sure.
They said, unlike Hinduism, Buddhism is a universalizing religion which actively seeks converts to faith.
That's a good one. I'll take it all day. Okay. So, everyone has written 2 pieces of positive feedback, 1 piece of constructive criticism. Now listen, every person who has a stapler on their desk, you need to staple rubric essay planning. As soon as you have that stapler, you need to staple it. Shanley, you have one right there. That is priority 1. As soon as you have that staple, now, Luke, now, Zoe, staple and pass. Let's go. As soon as that stapler hits your desk, it goes. Rubric, essay planning. Luke, now. Fill it out later, Luke. I need that staple to be passed. It's 3 papers you're stapling, Luke. Come on now.
Did you say essay first or planning first?
It is rubric, essay planning. Grace, let's go. Staple, you have one right there. Come on. The whole class is waiting on it. Let's go. As soon as you get that staple, that's priority 1, Addison. So, everyone should be writing. As soon as you have finished, then you can finish writing your 2 positives and 1 constructive. This is the basic format of every writing week class. We come in, we grade one of the essays for points. We do a quick trade, and we go. What's the matter? Did you figure it out?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's because someone flipped it upside down. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what you're going to do is you are going to go and talk to the person you scored. Tell them they're 2 positives, they're 1 piece of constructive criticism, and give them their essay. Go.
These these vocab words very well. We just forgot
Okay, the transition into the second paragraph.
Great.
And then you just have to add an extra bullet.
2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, you should be in possession of your own essay, ladies and gentlemen. You are in possession of your own essay. So, what you're going to do right now, please listen very carefully. Jade is going to collect the essay that you have currently just got graded. The one that's been colored, pass it to Jade. Do this now. Do not hand her individual papers. Collect a bunch, then hand it over. Let's go quickly. Now, every person who has a stapler on their desk, which should be everyone in the back row, except if you're Kaden, who has 2, you are going to staple your other 3 essays with their planning. Your other 3 essays with their planning. So, cool. How's that looking now? Not great. So why does Alex have 3 staplers? That's a problem? Give it to people who need them, Alex. So, you are stapling all 3 of your essays to 3 planning sheets, keeping them separate, not all in one pile. Staple, as soon as you have a staple in front of you, that is the priority. Staple and pass immediately. What?
Do you want the lantern or the
I want essay, then planning, every time. Keegan, pass the stapler if you're done. Pass it in a row. What? I want them separate. Ladies and gentlemen, I want your essays separate. I said that at the jump. You are stapling all 3 of your essays in 3 separate piles. Do not make it one big collective punch here. If you have a stapler, you need to pass it immediately. So Jade, pass it to William while you're dealing with the chaos. What?
It's an essay.
Huh?
Essay.
Essay, then planning. Make sure your name's on them. That would be helpful. If you have a stapler, you need to be stapling and passing immediately. That is priority 1. That is the most important thing that happens when you have a stapler on your desk. Jade, you can throw that on my desk. All the graded essays, just put them on there. Okay. Once you have all 3 of your essays stapled separately, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, so we write our essays according to the rubric for the AP graders so they have an easier time grading our essays, right? Because we want it to be easy so they can give us the points. We don't want them working hard to give us points because they won't. They make like $15 an hour. It's not that great. With that being said, keeping our essays separate makes it easier for Samantha Bennett to give you the points. Can we agree? So if you staple essays back to back or write them back to back, it's going to be harder for me to find them because that's not what I'm looking for, yes? So if you have stapled them back together, back to back, I'm still obviously going to give you the points, but it may take a couple processes of getting it through. Is everyone clear? Because I'm not looking for 3 essays back to back to back to back. It's fun.
We haven't got this.
Well, have someone Shanley pass it. Like, what do you want me to do? What? Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, you should have 3 separate essays in your hand. And you are going to pass them to Zoe. Make sure your name is on all of them if you want points for them. Do not just pass Zoe a single pile of essays, a bunch of piles of essays. Wait until you have a bunch of them. Quickly, let's go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, everyone should have a blank sheet of paper on their desk and your prompts that you are writing tonight. You people are exhausting. Here we go. Okay, so tonight for homework, you have 2 essays. Number 4 and negative, that's funny. Number 4 and number 6 is for homework. For number 4, list and describe 2 technological innovations in one of the regions above. Now, number 6 is the one we'll plan together. List 1 change in a region other than Europe and 1 continuity in a region other than Europe. Now, when we talk about a change, now these are the types of essays you will see one of these phrasings on the AP exam. I think these essays are the hardest ones because you really have to know your content. When you see the word change, it is referring to something new to that region. Okay? So, something that was brought from somewhere else into the region. Okay? When you see continuity, and I think continuities are by and far the harder of the 2, it is when a continuation of something throughout the region. Now, during this writing week, you've also learned a lot of things so far. Can we agree? You have learned that we teach this class in periods, right? We happen to be in period 1200 to 1450. So when we're talking about continuity, we're talking about something that's been in that region pre-1200, which is the time period we're picking up. So if we're talking about South Asia, what would be a continuity of something in South Asia that existed pre-1200? Thomas? Hinduism is a perfect continuity because it existed prior to 1200. In Europe, what would be a great continuity? Colin? Christianity, because that starts in before Common Era, of course, is well before 1200. So, hopefully you've seen, Writing Week isn't about learning new content. It's about thinking of your content in a different way. Continuities and changes is, I think, personally one of the hardest ones. The changes are easy, but the continuities are hard because it's thinking about things in a way we never thought of. What do you got, Lauren? List 1 change in a region. Yep, it should be 2 different regions. Yes, ma'am. All right, here we go. So, we're doing continuities and change. Okay, so for number 6. So, what is a continuity or change in one region? And we need to do 2 different regions. Neither of them can be in Europe. Now, by the way, you are writing 2 essays with or without my help tonight. And you sitting there looking at me, looking at you, is wasting your time. Jade. Okay. Okay, so the only thing is, Jade, if you're going to talk about a change like the Mongols taking over Song China, which is a good example, you have to pair it with something else on the other side. So if you're going to talk about a dynastic change in Song China, then you have to talk about a dynastic continuity somewhere else. Can you do that? Because you cannot write about a religion in one and then food in another. Does that make sense? You have to have a continuous theme. So I'm going to say no go, right? There you go. What do you got? Olivia. Are you talking about Hinduism?
Like, for the continuity.
Continuity.
Continuity of Hinduism, but then for the change.
But there's no relation.
I think she was trying to say like about like how the Mongols they spread like Islam like stuff like that maybe because like their religion changed and like it stayed.
There's a way you could argue it, but you're not arguing it. So no, what you have right there is not going to work. But you could argue it in a better way. Lauren.
For continuity, could you do like Islam in Southwestern Asia, like while Islam was a religion up there, and then the following?
How would that be? That's a continuity? I would stick away from religions right now because right now you clearly don't have the whims. Now, some of you are just staring at me, looking at you instead of looking at your notebook. By the way, if we don't do it in class, guess where you're doing it? at home by yourself. And isn't it better if we're doing it in class? So why don't we put some effort so it's easier in class? What do you got, Alex?
You can talk about trade, and you talked about how, like, in China, Southern China was built on trade, and they had that wealth, and they, like...
What's your vocab going to be?
Southern China, and then I'm gonna say...
Song China is not vocab because it's in the prompt.
And then I can say about the Silk Roads, and I can talk about how it's continuity, because even when the Mongols overtook
It's not a terrible answer.
China, they still were...
What are you going to do for your change?
Porcelain. Oh, I'm gonna talk about how trade in Africa was different because it almost had no trade, and then the trans-Saharan trade in Muslim.
So you want trade routes. I think we can make trade routes work. There we go. All right, so our continuity is going to be what, Alex?
That Southern China stayed like a powerhouse for trade through the Silk Roads and other trade routes like the Indian Ocean Basin.
Hold on. Song China's economic foundation. Why are we going to sell economic foundation? Because Song China, does it last or no?
Yes. You know.
No, because it gets overthrown by the Mongols. So we're going to try pushing Song China's economic foundation. So what are we going to talk about here? What are some vocab terms we're going to use to talk about this economic? I've already talked to these people. Desmond. Huh? Well, no, we haven't even gotten to the basics, dude. Economic foundation. I've already talked to Olivia. It's fun. Silk Roads. But what about the Silk Roads? Silk Roads begin... Guys, we have to work on this vocabulary here. What is the big thing? Why does all this start in China? I've already talked to these people. Bronson. Well, no, you can't just say Champa Rice and say economic foundation.
Well, it like leads to more population in like further state and then proto-industrialism.
There, do you see what the real answer here is? What, Bronson? There you go. Silk Roads, created by what, Bronson? Proto-industrialization. Do you see how that's the real key here? Do not just throw out Champa Rice. Oh, I hate that. Because you people will be doing it for the rest of the damn year. Okay. Proto-industrialization is what actually starts the Silk Road. What are some actual terms that we can use to support it? It's facilitated by what? I've already talked to these people. Some of you are look like, see ya. Good luck. See ya. What?
Facilitated by something you talked about, like the stuff that we